In the previous video, I was talking something about the parent, but I skipped because I don't wanted to confuse you all at once. But yeah, in this video, we will be getting to know about this parent also, and side by side, we will be going to with our main topic, that is resolver chains. So before this, let's know why this parent is coming into the picture. And inside that, we are hitting another data source, and on the base of that, we are trying to hit another data source, that is games, and we are getting the ID and title of that particular review. Now see, guys, now the thing here is, if you look at our data source itself, it has one to many relationships. So let's say the ID which we have, right, it is having a relationship with authors and also with the game IDs, with the games, sorry. So to deal with this scenario is, we have to first and foremost, let's update our data source schema itself. So the review which we are doing, right, it will have then in the author, and then we are defining the game and the author from the top. Okay, so once you have done this, if you go to your Apollo server, if you try to review now this, and when if you try to do a control space, you will automatically get the game and the author. But this is not things will still work. What you need to do now is, once you have updated this, now let's go back. And what I've done here is, I've created this individual author and individual game to make sure that we have the same functions for all. But now the thing here is, the chain resolve the chain which talked about, right, resolver chains, how we will deal with that. So what this resolver chain says that is, I will take back to the demonstration again. Let's see an example first. So let's say we have a library which has a branch of string, and this book and has a list of books. Okay, and this book has a title and author, and this author is nothing but which contains a name of string. Now all of this has again starting from libraries. So the thing starts from query, library, book, author, and it ends. Now let's say, similar to what query we had, right, libraries, books, author, this is how the query will look like. But now if you see the chain of it, the libraries calls the book. So for this books, the parent is libraries, and for this author, the parent is books, and for this author name, the parent is author. Let's see the same in our example. But before you mark this, you have to talk about how you exactly want the query to look like. So in our scenario, we will be hitting the first query, that is called review, which is basically a type query variable parameter like this one. Then we ask ourselves, okay, then this review will have something called game and something called authors in it. Okay, so what we do is, let's define the parent name and make sure this parent name matches the one which you are defining. So review. Okay, then you define the class, and the review, what you are doing is, you are calling game. Okay, and then you are calling author. Okay, so we will be getting the game and the author of that particular review which we are going to call. We are doing same thing here. So db.game.find and rv, and here what we are doing is, we are finding, just type game here, we are finding the game.id, which is equals to the parent. So parent will return what? Parent will return something called game ID. So what we will do is, that is equals to the parent dot id. Okay, parent dot game underscore id, sorry. Okay, similarly what we have done here, let's copy this. Let's paste this here, and instead of game, it will be author underscore id. Our Apollo server. Now if you try to do a control space, okay, well, we get the game of it, and let's say in the game we want the id of it. Now if you can see, we are getting the game name also. Let's say we do a platform of it, so we are getting, of this particular review, we are getting the game which has a platform of switch. Let's try the same with the, now we get the name as Yoshi. Let's say we have a game, and inside this game delete all the rest. Inside this game, I want to get the game reviews. So just like how we have done this here, let's create something called game here. And we want to get the reviews, right? The game returns the ID of the game. Well, once we have done this, things are not completed yet from our end. So, as we have mentioned in the games, it accepts reviews. It should also match our schema. So, let's go to our game. And as you can see, we have mentioned that our games have reviews, okay, which is not empty. Well, I think we are ready again. And what we do here in the game, I will first query the in this reviews. I want to get the ratings. Well, as you can see, I have defined title here also and title here. See now if you play this, you will get the same title again and again. Once you get inside the title at the top, and then you get the game title inside the reviews itself. Now here is the thing. Every time you have to make sure the relationship which you build, like since this is a demonstration example, you have to make sure that the relationship which you make inside your schema is good and it is not repeating. This is how we will be using the resolving chains and also creating field relationships. This is how the resolver chain which we built, right? But now let's build the resolver chain for us too. So for the resolver chain for us will be the query. Let's say this is a review. Well, now this review depends upon two things. That is, first is the author, and then the second one is the game. If you see our uh, our chain library looks like this, and each game, okay, each game has something called reviews. Said, if we compare this with the above example, for the author, the parent was what we got from the review, right? That is the thing, but uh, the one of the reviews field, one of the review list, okay. And the game also, the parent is the review data type, return data, that is nothing but one of the return of the one of the return data of the review list, okay. So this is how the things work. So yeah, see you in the next video. I hope this was quite informative.